the first thing I looked at was, what is the reputation of Kolter? It's one thing to look at a presentation from the EB-5 agency that says that, okay, this is like a very well-known developer and they have built projects worth 19 billion or whatever. But then the other thing you also have to do is to do your own research. And the way you do that for a private company like Kolter, where you cannot read a 10K or an 8K to understand what the company is doing, is to just look at a lot of news about the builder over the past several years. And I came across a couple of news items which talked about how Kolter had returned capital from its investors who had invested in certain projects during the global financial crisis, which had stalled because of what was going on in the real estate market in the US. And that gave me a degree of confidence that, look, it's one thing to, take money from investors and during a downturn, just declare yourself bankrupt and, not having to worry about paying them back. It's another to build a brand of reliability and trust and make sure that whoever works with you, whether it's a customer, whether it's an investor, feels satisfied with, the outcome of the projects that they are a part of. Instead, I also obviously made sure that I went to Twin Lakes, actually visited the project to see what was going on and are these guys for real? And that, brings me to the point of how do I go about selecting the regional center that I work with? And this is where, again, doing a lot of research around on Google, just a basic search on the news related to a lot of regional centers comes into play. A lot of regional centers that I came across had some sort of legal issues surrounding them. There were regional centers that operate in California, which were, reaching out to me. Just a simple Google search revealed that a lot of those regional centers just had, legal issues with the government. There were projects that apparently had their approvals revoked. And that didn't give me a lot of comfort with the folks that I would be investing with. A few things that stood out for me in terms of EB5AN are, number one, the pedigree of the founders. Coming from a business school investment banking background, it gave me a certain level of comfort to see that, the folks that I was corresponding with were highly qualified, intelligent individuals who have worked for global organizations. And it gave me a level of comfort that, look, these guys are definitely trying to run a clean shop. They're making sure that they do right by their investors and do things in as transparent a manner as possible. And in my interactions with Sam and other members of the EB5AN team, I could see, these folks are highly responsive. All the questions I asked, they were responded to. The questions where they could not respond because they just did not have that information available, they were very upfront about it. And they said, look, unfortunately, we don't have this and we are not going to be able to source this for you. So that gave me a level of comfort that, look, at the end of the day, sure, these guys are facilitators. They're also obviously running an organization and trying to build it further. But it's important for me to, correspond at least with folks who are willing to just stand up and say that, look, we don't know beyond this point. At the end of the day, your money has to be at risk. So a lot of projects that are a part of EB5 schemes across the country, a lot of regional centers will promise you returns of capital. A lot of regional centers will tell you that, oh, well, your money will definitely come back after 5 years when you are actually investing in a restaurant. Whoever has spent time in the US, especially in big cities like Chicago or New York or San Francisco, will know that the restaurant business is probably one of the most competitive and unprofitable businesses to be in. Most restaurants just get by. Keeping these things in mind, I felt that having, kind of just working with Sam, working with other members of the team and looking at the level of professionalism that was demonstrated, I felt comfortable going with EB5AN. I will also wholeheartedly recommend EB5AN. I think in my interactions with Sam and his team, I feel there has been a very high level of professionalism. I've been able to get responses quickly. I've been able to get a sense of, the direction in which a lot of these projects are going. I feel that folks, as I mentioned before, working with or dealing with folks who have a certain pedigree, who have a certain level of professional experience, kind of acts as a comfort level.